Hello, Team 5 kiddos. Today we are going to be doing lesson 8-6, quadrilaterals. Now, we got our prefix quad in there, and quad means four, absolutely. So we're dealing with four-sided figures, okay? A little different than triangles, tri, three. Now we're dealing quad, four. And there are 5 different kinds of quadrilaterals we're going to be talking about today. And today we're just going to keep it really simple and just go through each one of them. I'm going to have you make a note page, and that's going to be it. It's not going to be anything really hard. Just going to make you a little note page like this. We'll talk more about that later, though. Okay? So let's just get started. It says a quadrilateral is a plane figure with 4 sides and 4 angles. So here you can see this beautiful mosaic here. Not that I'm an artsy guy that I would know what this is, but it looks cool. It has 4 sides and it has 4 angles. Quadrilateral. Ba-dum-bum. There are 5 special types of quadrilaterals, and their properties are shown in the table below. The tick marks on 2 or more sides of a figure indicate that the sides are congruent. Now, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. And come over this way. There we go. Now we're in a little more. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Real pretty. Little autofocus. Now we're cooking. All right, so you can see these tick marks that they're talking about right here. You can see there's one on this side of the parallelogram and one on this side of the parallelogram. There's one. But then you can see this one has 2 slashes and 2 slashes. What that means is, hey, if I just did one tick on all of them, that would mean that they're all the same. But if you look at the sides, are they all the same? No, actually these are shorter, right? So to distinguish which ones are the same or congruent, that's why this is 1 tick and this is 1 tick over here, and this is 2 ticks and this is 2 ticks over here. That's exactly how that works, okay? So, hey, I see you over there, friend. Hey, I see you back. Hey, I see you over there, friend. Hey, here's an air high five. All right? They're all friends. They're congruent. Actually, they're all very nice. They get along all on that parallelogram plane here. So, anyways, so let's talk about a parallelogram. A parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel and congruent. Opposite angles are congruent also. So that means, hey, this angle here and this angle here, they are congruent. And if you look, this is an obtuse angle and this is an obtuse angle. And this is an acute angle and this is an acute angle. So, and they're opposites, right? So opposite sides are parallel. Here's parallel. And then they're also congruent. That's what the little tick marks say, right? And that the opposite angles are congruent also. And that's where we get a parallelogram from. Okay? Moving right along, we're going to be talking about our friend the rectangle. Now, many of you are very familiar with the rectangle, as it is one of our shapes we learn when we're just a little piper. You know, back when our nose is running and mom needs to wipe our nose. Yeah, way back when we learned about the rectangle. Some of you might have thought it was a squish square. Or the cheeseburger square, the cheeseburger shape. Yeah, maybe. Anyways, we're the rectangle. You can see it's a parallelogram. Ooh. Because it has opposite sides that are parallel, see that? And they're congruent. So, and it also, what makes this special is it has 4 right angles. All right, that's what distinguishes this from this shape right here. Okay, is it has 4 right angles. That's what makes it a rectangle. Right. So it is a parallelogram though too, based on the rules of what a parallelogram is. Okay. All right, so pretty straightforward. 4 right angles, opposite sides are parallel and congruent. The next one is a rhombus. A rhombus is also a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. Now remember we were talking about the tick marks, right? Here you can see there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 of those tick marks, which means They're all the same length. They're all the same size. They're all congruent sides, okay? And once again, just like up in here in the parallelogram, the opposite angles are congruent. So in other words, this angle and this angle, which are acute angles, they are congruent, and these obtuse angles, they are also congruent. All right? It's kind of like a square that gets tipped to the side. And if you take a look here, here's our rectangle, tipped to the side. Here's our square, tipped to the side. All right? Now let's just jump down to the square. The square is a rectangle with 4 congruent sides, and all angles are right angles. So this one, very similar to this one up here, right? Very similar. So 4 congruent sides, tick, 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 tick. They're all 1 tick, meaning they're all the same, all congruent, and all the angles are right angles. Pretty straightforward, okay? Lastly, we have what is called a trapezoid. And the beauty of the trapezoid is it can kind of look different on its own. All right, here we have 2 different shapes. And most of the time, you see this shape as a trapezoid. When you think trapezoid, that's what you're thinking. Something similar to that. What they did is they tipped it on its edge and said, hey, we're going to show the kids it can actually look like this too. Which is fine. K-Crew gets that. We're pretty smart. All right. So let's talk trapezoid for a minute. Quadrilateral with it is a quadrilateral, 4 sides, right? And they're straight lines with exactly 2 parallel sides. May have 2 right angles. Okay, so it may have, here's a parallel side here. Oops, I'm sorry, parallel here, parallel here. All right, and also it may have 2 right angles. So this is one where it has a set of parallel sides and two right angles. So parallel has 2 parallel sides. Okay. Over here we have 2 sets of parallel sides. All right, 2 sets of parallel sides here. Right, these are actually 1 set of parallel sides, is what you could say. It's another way of looking at that. Okay. Now this is today's math lesson. I'm not going to do any more than that for right now. What I would like you to do is to draw up each of these shapes, label them, and then write down their qualities. All right. I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to attach it to our homework so you can take and recreate this note page, because we're going to use it for another activity. And I want you to keep this note page. Take a picture of it, show me you did it, but then keep it, because the next day's work, you're going to use this. Okay? All right. Pretty simple for the day. I'm going to show you what you can do. One option for you to do. Let me zoom out here. And what I did, oh, there we go. Little autofocus. Yeah. What I did, for example, is I started with parallelogram, which is also happens to be the first one here. It's parallelogram. I drew the parallelogram, and then I wrote opposite sides are parallel, opposite angles are congruent, and I got that information from right here. So I just made my own little cheat sheet, okay? I want you to do the same. Take a look at my parallelogram. Also, I have my tick marks, see that? And I copied that from right here too. All right, so that's your homework. Straight ahead. Can't mess this up. You just need to do it. Take a picture of it, send it to me, and have a great rest of your day. See you later, Team 5.